Welcome back, folks. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and welcome back to the Random Video Blog, where every single Friday I give my rambling thoughts in the world of wrestling, share some stories, etc., etc. So we are just coming off the heels of SummerSlam weekend. I mean, technically it's Friday now. SummerSlam weekend was last weekend, but it's been an incredible week. You had a great NXT TakeOver on Saturday, SummerSlam on Sunday. Monday, we have Raw on Monday, all in Brooklyn, all in the Barclays Center. A great NXT, really good SmackDown, a great week in wrestling that I'm very excited to talk about with you here today. Just specifically the first 2 days. I mean, I said, months ago, dating months back, John and I bought our tickets to SummerSlam back in March. But it wasn't up until Thursday of last week that I found out that I was going to NXT TakeOver. I mean, I was contemplating it for a while. I wasn't really sure if I was going to go, if I could go. And officially I found out I could on Thursday. I talked about that, kind of broke the news in the video blog last week. So I found that out, and the weekend was a lot crazier than I originally anticipated. But it was well worth it. I mean, it was an amazing weekend, full of wrestling and full of a lot of fun and excitement and whatnot. But still, starting on Friday, though, the whole week I had been busy kind of doing this and that and whatever. But on Saturday, I had to go to a picnic. So I had to wake up early anyway. I was up late on Friday night working on a few articles. So I was up until like fucking 3 a.m., which is something I don't typically like to do. Usually I like to go to bed earlier, not at like 8 o'clock, but usually around like 12 or 1 if I could, just to catch some sleep. But I couldn't that night, and I went to bed at like 3, so I had to wake up around 10 because I was going to a picnic for my MMA school later, that Saturday morning. So I was there for a couple hours. We kind of timed it where I could go to that family picnic at the MMA school or wherever. It's near where I live, but this school is a while. But you know what I mean. For my school here in the area, I was going to go there for a few hours, then take off from there to the train station and go into Brooklyn, whatever. And that worked out very, very well, surprisingly. I ended up catching the train at 2:45 in New Haven here in Connecticut. Went to the picnic for a few hours, went there. Took a 2-hour train ride, got to Grand Central around 4 or 5 o'clock. We just kind of hung out for a little while. And it was cool, too. I went with Mike Yoder, at Yoder21, I believe his Twitter handle is on the Twitter. I talk to him all the time. You can just find him. You want to just tag him in tweets and stuff. I asked him very last minute, and he was gracious enough to accept. And I know he was very appreciative to go, so that was awesome. But he's a great dude, and I was very happy to be able to go with him to the show. We tagged along with a few other kids that I had previously known from high school and a few other people that we met along the way. And I think the highlight of the weekend, too, and I might talk about this a little bit more at the end of the video, was all the amazing wrestling fans that I met over the course of the weekend. Both people that I previously knew and people that I met that weekend. I mean, I didn't become accustomed with them and get their handles or anything like their numbers or their Twitter handles or anything. But just talking to fans over the course of the weekend, whether it was waiting in line, waiting in the arena, sitting down in our seats, I met a handful of great people. Especially people that I had previously known from Twitter that I had finally gotten to meet in person, which was awesome. I got to meet up with a few people right outside the Barclays Center, which was great. You can really tell how passionate a lot of people are about pro wrestling. Every single person there, whether it was Saturday or Sunday for NXT or for SummerSlam, everyone there loves wrestling. Everyone there knows what they're talking about. It was a great fan base of people. New York crowds are known for being awesome audiences every single time WWE goes there, or wrestling goes there in general. Whether it be TNA, Ring of Honor, WWE, it doesn't matter. That I definitely felt that presence both at the NXT and SummerSlam shows in terms of crowd reactions and just, waiting outside the arena. NXT, I got there because we just kind of waited around for a while. We took the subway into Brooklyn, and we went into the show around 7 o'clock. I got to the arena, the Barclays Center, around 7 o'clock. So by the time we finally got in, about a half hour later, because everyone was piling outside the arena, it was about a half hour to get in. We finally got in. The show was about to start, so we sat down pretty much immediately, and they taped the episodes from NXT this past week before NXT TakeOver, which was pretty cool. Got to see Enzo and Cass in person, and I tell you, man, those guys are so fucking over. Enzo and Cass are like the New Age Outlaws, or like the New Age Outlaws. I said that on Twitter a few days ago. Some other people have said that as well, and I could not agree more. Just kind of like the 2015 version of the New Age Outlaws. They're not the greatest in-ring athletes, I'll give you that. I can't name one great Enzo and Cass match, but those guys are so goddamn over. Every single time they come out, but especially in Brooklyn, the reaction they received was just deafening. It was amazing to be a part of, and that was a really cool match, the 8-man tag team match. The women's match with the botched finish, the fatal 4-way at the end. I left to go get food at that point, so I had no idea what was going on. I just heard Emma's music start playing and like no reaction whatsoever, so I had no idea what happened until I saw it back later. But that was pretty cool. The NXT TakeOver show itself was absolutely phenomenal. I'll talk about which one was better at the end. I wrote an article about it yesterday for Hidden Remote, but the NXT TakeOver show was absolutely incredible. Now, I said this on Twitter right before I left for Brooklyn over the weekend, and I have my own wrestling bucket list and all these different things that I want to accomplish. Of course, going to WrestleMania has always been leading the list. The original three have always been go to a TNA show, which I was finally able to cross off the list last summer and went again earlier this year in January. Go to a TNA show, attend a WrestleMania, and work for WWE. Obviously, it's more of a goal than a bucket list item, but you know what I mean. They're always kind of been the three things that I've been striving for years. So those three things. And they added a few more things earlier this year. I kind of adjusted the list a little bit, adding 4 more items on the list. It was attend a show at Madison Square Garden, which is not too hard, considering I live in Connecticut. It's just the matter because they don't do TVs there anymore. They just do house shows. I know they're doing a house show there in October. I can't go. I'll be at school, and the tickets are like crazy anyway, crazy much. So I probably won't be doing that. So go to a show at Madison Square Garden at some point. Attend a Ring of Honor show. Again, not too hard. They're in the New York area all the time anyway. So hopefully at some point down the line. I almost went to the Best of the World pay-per-view. I just couldn't make it around to going, unfortunately. But those 2 things, attend a pay-per-view and also attend an NXT show. So I was able to knock 2 things off the list in one weekend, which was incredible. And both shows were great, but the NXT TakeOver show, it's amazing. And I watched it back for the first time since being there live. I just watched it back on Wednesday on my the HD TV at my dad's house on the PS4 or whatever on the WWE Network. And he was asking, are the people going to these shows? He's not a wrestling fan. He's just kind of casually aware of the product. He's like, are these WWE fans or these NXT fans? I'm like, no, a majority of these people are all NXT fans. It's not like they're just coming, they're not just going to the show just because they know it's WWE. Maybe a small portion of the audience was, but I can tell you, man, just from being there live, waiting outside the arena, waiting in the arena for the show to start, waiting, on the way out, and people just talking and all this other stuff. There's just a huge buzz around NXT right now that people are so hyped about this product, myself included. But these people knew their shit. They're not just WWE fans like, oh, NXT's in town. No, they went to the show because they knew it was NXT. You can definitely tell that based off the reactions for everyone on the show. Based off the reaction to Bayley winning, which was... I'll get to that in a minute, but based off the reaction to Bayley winning, Enzo and Cass coming out, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Jushin Thunder Liger even, which a lot of people were hyped to see. That was really cool to be able to say that I was there for his first and perhaps only ever WWE match. Apollo Crews making his WWE debut, NXT debut, whatever. That was really, really cool. But yeah, the entire show was perfect. I mean, I talked about it on Wrestle Rant Radio this past week. We didn't go into specifics about my experience. That's what this video is for. But we did give a brief run through of NXT and SummerSlam. And I talked about in Wrestle Rant Radio, I'm pretty sure there's a clip you already here on the channel that I posted on Wednesday, about a 10-minute clip or so. NXT TakeOver Brooklyn from this past week was, in my opinion, bias aside, not even just putting the fact aside that I was there in attendance and live in person, was the single best TakeOver special to date. Name me a better one. Name me a better special than the one we got on Sunday. With more monumental moments, more amazing in-ring action. Just everything about the show was fantastic. You had 2 title changes, 2 debuts of Apollo Crews and Jushin Thunder Liger, 2 incredible main events, dare I say the best, one of, if not the single best women's match ever in WWE between Bayley and Sasha Banks. And being there live was absolutely amazing. I can't tell you how many people I've heard, based off you guys in the YouTube comments on the Wrestle Rant Radio clips that I posted a couple days ago, or whether it be, here on YouTube or on Twitter or on Facebook or everyone that I've talked to, people have said, I've never really been a Bayley fan. Some people have said I never really liked Bayley at all. I just don't like Bayley. But that match won me over. Either that match made me a fan of Bayley or I just thoroughly enjoyed that match. And I know some people disagreed. Some people didn't like the match. Very, very few people. I've only heard from maybe 1 or 2 people that said they didn't like that match. My opinion, the greatest women's match we've ever had in WWE. Again, name me a better one. Name me a better women's match. And dare I say, one of the best matches of the year so far. I don't know if I would go so far to say it was the best match of the year of 2015. But like I said on Facebook yesterday, easily, undoubtedly, my favorite match of 2015 up to this point. John Cena and Kevin Owens from Elimination Chamber led that list for the longest time, as well as the triple threat from the Royal Rumble pay-per-view earlier this year, or the triple threat from WrestleMania, Rollins cashing in. They all pale in comparison. In my opinion, favorite and best are two very different things. Keep that in mind. But that women's match, up to this point, is my favorite match of 2015. The story they told, the video package was amazing. The in-ring action was incredible. The drama, everything about it. And just being a Bayley fan for the last 2 years was a culmination of everything that she's had to go through to get to that point. And some people were crying. No shit. Some people were crying in the arena. I can't say I was. I did shed a tear when I watched it back in the network just yesterday or a couple days ago. It's that great of a match, and that was just, absolutely surreal to watch live. Just the moment and the pop that she got. I got it on video, for those wondering. I got a few videos from I got a handful of videos actually from NXT TakeOver and the NXT show itself. I'll be posting those over the weekend and SummerSlam. Those will be up on Saturday and Sunday, 4 videos each day. I think Saturday I'm releasing the videos that I took of Enzo and Cass's entrance and everyone saying soft, which is the loudest, again, reaction probably of the night. Enzo and Cass saying soft, the Vaudevillains winning the tag belts, Finn Balor's entrance, Bayley winning the belt. Who else? I think I recorded something else from NXT TakeOver 2 that I can't exactly remember. I don't remember what it was. It was Enzo and Cass, Finn Balor. I know there were 5 videos from NXT that I took. I don't know. I feel like there was another entrance. I don't know. It was the 2 title changes, Enzo and Cass, Finn Balor making his entrance, and then on the next day for SummerSlam, I took videos of Bray Wyatt's entrance, Undertaker's entrance, John Cena's entrance. So all of those videos will be uploaded this weekend, bearing any copyright or any shit like that. I don't feel like that's going to be a problem, but just be on the lookout for that. So anyway, NXT, an amazing show, and it takes the cake as the best show I've ever been to live. I mean, I've been to well over 30 wrestling shows. No shit. I counted yesterday. If you go to my website, nextwrestling.net, I have all the photos of every single wrestling show. With the exception of the first one, I did not have a phone at that time. I didn't have a camera at that time or anything, which goes to show how long ago that was. In May of fucking 2009. That was over 6 years ago, 6.5 years ago. With the exception of that show, I've taken pictures at every show that I've ever been to, and they're all up on the website right now. And I counted the other day, I've been to well over 30 wrestling shows in the 7 years I've been a wrestling fan, which is amazing. WWE shows, independent, TNA, house shows, live events, everything you can possibly imagine except for Ring of Honor, now a pay-per-view, including SummerSlam and NXT on Sunday and Saturday, respectively. But anyway, that was amazing. Walking out, it was an incredible vibe. A lot of people were so stoked to be in the arena for that show, and it was just incredible. Just love that show so much. And it really goes, I rarely ever watch shit back. I'll watch it back like a year later, like I've been doing for Wrestle Rant, but I will rarely ever watch stuff back like in its entirety. Like, I'll watch moments back. I watched the Dudley Boys return at least a million times over in the last couple of days. But if, like a Raw was amazing, I won't watch it back for a while. I haven't watched SummerSlam back. I've only seen parts of it. NXT TakeOver, I was just there a few days ago and I felt the need to watch it back. That's how amazing that match was. So anyway, a great show on Saturday. We're leaving the arena. No real issue at all. We got, I had to take the 107 train home because the show ended at like 11:20, a lot later than I thought it would. So we got home. I didn't get back to Connecticut until like fucking 3 in the morning. I didn't get home until like 4. So it's crazy, and I'll get to that in a second, but also on the train, I'll probably put it, I don't know what I'll put as a thumbnail for this video, probably something from SummerSlam, but there is a photo that I posted. It's in, under the NXT TakeOver category on my website for the photos. It's on Facebook. I shared it on Twitter. So on the way home on the subway, we were actually waiting for the subway, and some guy comes up to us, says, does this take you to, I don't know, somewhere in Washington, D.C. or something like that. I forgot what he said. And I said, I have no idea. So one of my friends helped him out. It doesn't really matter where he was going, but I forgot where he was going. Somewhere like that. Oh, the World Trade Center. That's what he was asking. Does this go to the World Trade Center? I said, I have no idea. Sorry, dude. And he had all the Finn Balor face paint on, which a lot of people did. So I was like, oh, he must be a fan or something like that. No worries. But then he was saying, I was wearing my Finn Balor t-shirt that night, and he goes, So yeah, I worked as an extra in Finn Balor's entrance, and like, dude, that's fucking amazing. And he was just telling us all about how Triple H was awesome, Seth Rollins was a dick to him, the Vaudevillains were pretty cool, Finn Balor was really humble and really awesome to talk to too. So that was pretty awesome. He rode home on the subway with us for about maybe 10-15 minutes. Then he had to take off, but that was pretty sick. So that was pretty awesome. We got to talk to an extra that was involved in Finn Balor's entrance. And if you don't believe me, like I said, I took a picture with the guy. It's on Facebook, Twitter, everything, on the website, everything. So that was pretty cool. Didn't get back until like 3:30. Got back in my house around 4. Immediately went to bed. And I watched a few moments from TakeOver. Then I went to bed. Then I woke up again at like 10. So I only got like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. I was so dead in the morning when I woke up, but I was so pumped for SummerSlam that it didn't even matter. So I got up at 10. I left around 11 to catch a train at 12. And that was pretty much it. John and I took the train into Brooklyn. We took the subway in there. We got there around 2. Again, got to meet a lot of cool people outside the arena, so that was pretty awesome, both before and after the show. And I posted all the pictures on my Twitter and stuff, so they're awesome people. A lot of great people I was able to interact with over the weekend. So we got there early enough. We were able to get something to eat. We went to McDonald's for a little while, and then we went to over the arena. RJ, myself, and John, and RJ's girlfriend as well. We went into the arena. We were waiting outside for at least an hour and a half. It was sweltering weather, so hot, but again, so worth it because it's SummerSlam, baby. But it was super hot out. We were waiting outside the arena for like an hour and a half, and you're not going to leave. You want to be in the arena as soon as possible. We got some merch before we got in. That's where I got this t-shirt. No, I got this when I went in the arena. I showed in the hashtag AskYouSem video on Monday, but I bought this NXT Battle for the Brooklyn poster thing. It's actually pretty good quality, but probably going to hang it up when I go back to college in a couple days in one of my walls or something. So that was pretty cool. So we got in the arena for enough time. We got in there for a pre-show, for the entire pre-show. Nothing happened on the pre-show at all, except for the entrances of the commentators and the ring announcers and everything. So, that was pretty much a no match in the pre-show. I don't think people were pissed. I don't think a lot of people just didn't really care. But the match, again, the show itself was really good. I'm not going to go off on a limb and just because I was there and call it the greatest SummerSlam of all time. But being there live was really cool. I think Jim Ross and Jericho said it best in their podcast. They liked the finishes. Or Jericho said he liked the finish to the main event between Taker and Brock. I agree. I didn't love it. But I certainly didn't hate it as much as other people. And that's fine. I could see why people hated it. I just didn't really mind it as much. I thought it was just great to be there in person. I'm one of the kind of people that's just happy to be there. But that was really cool. I would give the show around a B-, B maybe, about a 7.5, as a lot of people have been saying. I think I would agree with that number. It's a pretty good show. The undercard was solid. The main events were tremendous. Rollins and Cena was certainly a spectacle to be a part of live. In the main event, just the Undertaker. I've seen Undertaker once before at a SmackDown show that I went to, which I did a video about here on the channel before, I believe, back in 2009. And Brock Lesnar I've never seen live, so to see him live was really, really cool, and they had a great match too. So an awesome show on the whole, really, really good show. A lot of people left frustrated, I understand that. A lot of people, were not very happy with the finish to the main event between Brock and Taker. So some frustrated people walking outside the arena. Again, got to meet a few people. Left there, we were able to catch the 12:07 train home, and then I got back around 2, went to bed around 3, and I was dead, dude. I was so dead. I could hardly talk on the way home. I fell asleep on the train ride home. I was so exhausted. And I talked about that in the hashtag AskYouSem video. If you saw that on Monday, you know how exhausted I was. I look like shit. I talk like shit. I lost my voice. I got it back by Tuesday. I was able to get it back in time when I recorded, Wrestle Rant Radio. But then again, I didn't talk for like a whole day. I tried and keep it limited, and other than the hashtag AskYouSem video, I didn't really say much at all because I didn't want to hurt my voice even more. So I was actually pretty surprised at how quickly I got my voice back, but I'm still kind of feeling the after effects now. But it was pretty cool. I mean, it's a great feeling. If you lose your shit, if you lose your voice at a wrestling show that you go to, that's how you know you had a fun time. And I was so tired, but I slept pretty much into fucking noon on Monday. So it was an incredible weekend, a really, really, really fun weekend. And I was able to meet a lot of great people. Got some great merch, including the t-shirt, like I said before. I got a Balor Club t-shirt that I bought on Saturday. The NXT TakeOver thing. I got a Cesaro section sign, which John got for me when we were waiting outside. He got it from some guy that had printed them out, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, just easily the 2 greatest wrestling shows I've ever been to. There's no question about it. There was absolutely no but doubt. Those two shows, NXT TakeOver and SummerSlam, the 2 greatest shows I've ever been to. Beating out the Raw that it was at last year, which was amazing, which is certainly saying something, because that show was great. SummerSlam is number 2. NXT TakeOver has to be number 1. That was really something to be a part of. And to be able to go to my first NXT show, let alone have it be, TakeOver, was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Got to experience so many monumental moments. And what I certainly think is the greatest TakeOver special to date. A near perfect show. There wasn't a single bad match in the entire show. And that's how you know how it's great. NXT is awesome. So be sure to check out either show if you haven't already. And then, of course, Raw on Monday. Just a great show. In my opinion, like I said on Twitter, the greatest Raw of 2015 to date. I mean, again, find me a better Raw. Even the post-WrestleMania Raw, the final hour was poop. The only thing about the show this week that sucked was the women's shit. And that's not their fault. I mean, I talked about it on Twitter. Not to, it's the Divas segment, so it automatically sucks. It's not the case at all. It's the fact that it was the Miz TV thing was horrible. I'm not going to go on a rant about this, but I talked about it in my Raw review on Next Wrestling, cheap plug, if you want to check that out. But, that was the only blemish on an otherwise really great show. I cannot even tell you how much I marked out for the Dudley Boys' return. Sting's return, Ric Flair coming back, the Jon Stewart angle, the new Wyatt family member. A really, really cool weekend. Probably one of, if not the best weekend all year round, with the exception of WrestleMania. So that's what I loved about it. It really felt like a WrestleMania-like weekend. I was hyped going into the show. I was hyped after the show. And I can't wait to go back. Hopefully, moving forward, what is next? Because all I've been bragging about, all I've been talking about these last several months have been, I'm going to SummerSlam. So what is next? So as of this moment, on my countdown right now, which I've kind of, showed here on the show before, I've got a countdown to Christmas, which is 119 days away. So I've got a countdown to Christmas going down right now, countdown to Christmas, with that being my favorite holiday, with the exception of Halloween. But that is not what is next. Before that, though, there is a Raw in Boston. I don't know if I'll be able to go to that because there's so much shit going down and whatever. So we'll have to wait and see. I might be at that show, the TD Garden in Boston. And then about 2.5 months after that, the TLC pay-per-view, which will again also be in Boston, the TD Garden. And I will be there for that. I will be on campus. I actually do not leave campus until like a week later. So, a lot of people get out early in early December. In this case, I'm really happy I get out as late as I do because I'm able to go to that show because I'll be on campus. So, I might be at TLC. That might be my second. I might be able to go to 2 pay-per-views in 1 year. And if there's a Dudley Boys TLC triple threat match on that show, you can fucking bet your ass that'll be at that show just to see the Dudley Boys in a TLC match for the first time in over 10 years, stuff like that. So anyway, guys, great weekend. Would love to get your thoughts on what you thought of NXT TakeOver, of SummerSlam, of Raw, Main Event Superstars, NXT SmackDown. Okay, maybe with the exception of that last few things, But I would love to know what you guys thought of SummerSlam and NXT TakeOver. What did you think of us as a crowd? I thought Brooklyn. If I had to compare the two crowds, Brooklyn on Saturday was a lot hotter, if only because all the matches meant something at SummerSlam. That wasn't always the case. I enjoyed every match, but some matches the crowd was dead for, understandably so. Like, we're not going to go crazy for the Triple Threat IC title match, or even the Stephen Amell match, which I thought was a pleasant surprise, but there was really no reason for the crowd to go crazy during it, The crowd certainly lived up to expectations when, during the main event and also during the WWE Championship match. And they were a great crowd on Raw, too. So it was awesome to be part of the Brooklyn crowd on both Saturday and Sunday. I don't know what is ever going to beat that weekend, but then again, I said the same thing about Raw last year, and, these two shows certainly beat that one out. So only time will tell. If I ever get to attend a WrestleMania, I will let you guys know. I don't know if I'll be able to make it this upcoming year because it's so far away. So I don't know if I'll be able to make it to Dallas or Arlington or wherever, but we will certainly see. So anyway, guys, again, hopefully you enjoyed this past week as much as I did. And this will also be the final, it's funny actually, now that I mentioned, this is the final video blog taking place from my room. For right now, obviously. It's not like I'm going to be departing this room forever, but I am going back to school on Monday of this upcoming week. And I'll try to get a video blog up for next Friday. They're just going to be just moving in and classes and stuff, but I'll hopefully be able to film something at some point over the course of next week. And it will be up on Friday. So we'll be doing all the video blogs again. It'll be the same schedule. Everything will be the same. Hashtag Ask You Some on Monday. What time they go up, I have no idea. We'll have to wait and see. Depends on what my class schedule is. Wrestle Rant videos. And by the way, no one has really asked about it, but I did point this out on Twitter a couple days ago. The WrestleRant editions, I thought they were going to be coming back this past week, but I wanted to take a break because I just haven't been able to watch the pay-per-views, much less review them. But WrestleRant videos, they are not done. They will be coming back on Tuesday, September 1st, with my review of Unforgiven 1998. The entire month of September is devoted to the Unforgiven pay-per-views. So be sure to be on the lookout for those. They will be up on Tuesdays, Saturdays, and sometimes Sundays. The video blogs on Fridays, and the WrestleRant radio excerpts on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So with that being said, guys, again, thank you for all your support. It's been an amazing summer. No better way to cap it off than with SummerSlam and NXT TakeOver just last week, and I'm still reeling from the excitement and the thrills of NXT and SummerSlam. And again, hopefully you guys enjoyed that weekend as well. So enjoy the rest of your very short summer. I'm sure some of you will be going back to school soon. If you're not already back in school, I'll be back on Monday. So again, we will see what the new semester brings, and hopefully it's as exciting as the rest or the first 8 months of 2015 have been. So anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your awesome weekend. I will catch you guys hopefully on Monday for a new hashtag Ask You Some video. And like I said earlier, stay tuned for awesome exclusive videos I took over SummerSlam weekend, both at NXT TakeOver and SummerSlam on Sunday. Have a great one, guys. I'm Graham Juice Matthews, and I'll catch you guys down the road.